And I wish we could play music, but when we're on Zoom, we can't. So it would have worked really well for this class today. So welcome, everybody. I think we got everything we need. So last week we talked about, did everyone meet Lydia? Oh, this is Lydia. So afterwards, maybe we can chat. So welcome everybody at home too. Sorry you're not here to meet Lydia. But we talked about my book, If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules. And just real quick, for those of you that weren't here last week, my mom gave me this book when I was younger, much younger. And I didn't read it until about 10 years ago. And then I read it and it was like, oh, wow, I wish I would have read this 10 years before. So we talked about rule number 1 last week, which is you will be given a body, and how your relationship with your body is one of the most important ones, or if not the most important one, because it's the only body you have. So you're going to be stuck with it the rest of your life, and that your soul and your body are distinct entities. And so it's important that you come to terms with that. And then rule number 2 now is you will be presented with lessons. So you're enrolled in a full-time informal school called Life. Each day in this school, you will have the opportunity to learn lessons. You may like the lessons or hate them, but you have designed them as part of your curriculum. So each person has his or her own purpose and distinct path, unique and separate from anyone else's. As you travel your life path, you will be presented with numerous lessons that you will need to learn in order to fulfill that purpose. The lessons you are presented with are specific to you. Learning these lessons is the key to discovering and fulfilling the meaning and relevance of your own life. Once you have learned the basic lessons taught to you by your own body, you are ready for a more advanced teacher, the universe. You will be presented with lessons in every circumstance that surfaces in your life. When you experience pain, you learn a lesson. When you feel joy, you learn a different lesson. For every action or event, there is an accompanying lesson that must be learned. There really is no way to avoid the lessons you are presented with, nor is there any chance you will be able to skirt around the learning process. So think about that. Close your eyes. And maybe just reflect back and think about a few things that happened to you that you really didn't want to go through, but that you learned from and grew from having gone through them. And then please bring hands to heart center. May we all be open and receptive to all of life's situations. If we can't see the good, maybe we can see the lesson. And we're much more able to notice all the blessings and grace that are always around us. We look at life that way. And please lower your hands Open your eyes. So today we're just going to constantly move, and it's designed to help you relieve stiffness. So you're not going to try and go as deep as you can on these movements. Just kind of keep moving, and that's what the purpose is, okay? And it's nice to have music that you can flow to, but you're just going to have to go in your own head. So sitting the way you are, if this is comfortable for you, you're just going to turn to your left and fold a little bit, and then come up through seated and switch. And just keep going like that, moving side to side. Try and stay grounded through the sits bones. One more time each side. And then fold forward and just kind of sway side to side as you fold forward. And then come on back up. And then switch which shin you have in front, which will feel weird. And then just we'll repeat that process. For me, one side always feels way weird. Much stiffer. One more time each side. And then way forward. Try to keep the hip creases back. The bones grounded. And walk back up. Good. And then just bring the soles of your feet together. And just kind of sway side to side here. Try and keep a nice grounded feet. This is hard for me too. Those of us that are really stiff. Bless you. That's that cat. Good. And then pause, stretch your legs out. Make sure your kneecaps and toes point up. And then just kind of reach for the outside of your shins, center your belly, and fold. Not real deep, just side to side. Be sure and come all the way up through the middle. Feel a nice long spine. I'm not going to give a lot of alignment instructions today. Just want you to move, feel free. But do press the heels down, it helps. Good. One more time, each side. And then fold forward, sway. Walk the hands out. And come on back up. Good. Come back to the first position. And you can do it with the feet under the knees if that's easier for you too. And then just twist. So just turn with your spine upright and do a little bit of a twist. And you can go as fast or as slow as you want if you want to move with your breath. I'm moving pretty fast. I don't know why. Probably because I had so much coffee this morning. Shouldn't have done that. And one more time. Way forward. Walk your fingertips out. Feel the sit bones grounded. And walk back up. Switch again. And then just start the twist. Hand to the outside of the thigh. If you draw your low belly up, keep the curve in the low back. It feels more connected. It feels like a better twist. Good. One more time, and then sway forward. Come on back up. Soles of the feet together. And just sway a few times. Hopefully it's getting easier. Some of the stiffness is coming out. And then stretching the legs out. Make sure kneecaps and toes are upright, sit up tall. And then maybe go a little deeper. You can reach for your foot if that works. It doesn't have to be that deep. I want you to just go where your body says, that's not all the way I can go. It's just comfortable. One more time each side. And then once again, fold forward. Way. Feel different fibers lengthening and stretching. Come on back up. And now just bring your feet forward. I'm going to give options here. I've kind of learned from the week. So you're going to bring your right ankle over your left thigh and then stretch it and then switch. You can use your hands and just use your feet. Now, if that's deep enough, keep doing that. Or if you want to lean back and bend both knees into that Agni Sambhasana, you can. Much deeper. Yeah. Challenging, but it feels kind of good. Just be mindful. Don't stretch anything too far. One more time each side. And then come on up to all fours. And just immediately start moving through cow and cat. I'm going to slow down my movement to start. You can speed up as you keep going. And just round, tuck your chin when you're in cat. I want you to feel it. I like to start with my tail and move up to feel a big curve. And then round. Starting with the tail again. Two more times. Good, and then just bring your hands forward a bit. Curl your toes under. Make sure your knees are hip distance. And lift your knees and come on up to a down dog, but just start walking your dog out. So bending one knee and the other. Make sure you have weight through all parts of your hands. Yeah, you can move the blankets out of the way. And just see how that feels. And then sway the heels to the right and to the left, to the right, to the left. I like to bend my knees a little bit when I do this. My feet want to slide, so I have to kind of constantly move them. Good. And then pause and come forward to plank. And then push back down dog. And do that two more times. Plank, down dog, plank, and pause there. I should have And then lower your knees and just watch me. So this is a modified, going into a modified cobra. You're gonna bend your elbows and just lower your pelvis, but keep your shoulders and your head up to cobra. And then you're gonna push back and come to extended down or child pose. So try it with me. Come forward, bend your elbows, just lower your pelvis to a modified cobra, shoulders back, and then push back, extended child pose. Do that 2 more times if you want, or you can just stay in child pose. Bend the elbows first, because that's, I want you to keep shoulders back. And push back. And one more time. And push back. And then come on up, curl your toes, push up 2, down dog, and just keep moving. Bend one knee and the other. Good, and then lower your knees. And this is where you might want to use your knee pad. I just cut up a mat, so I use that. And grab your blocks and bring them under your hands. And step your right foot forward because we want to keep moving. And bring your hands to your front thigh. Now I want your knee to be above your ankle, so you can see. And then you're just going to bend into the knee a little bit, keeping your hips square and straighten. So bend, not straighten, just lift back a little bit. So just small, subtle movements. Hug your knee and your heel towards each other. Think long spine, so low belly up, keep the curve in the low back. Kind of like you're extending through the top of your head. 2 more times. Good, and then touch down, bring the right block to the inside of your foot, and then you're just gonna walk your foot out so it's at a 45-degree angle to the side. Your toes and your kneecap point the same direction. And then bring the right hand on your thigh, your left hand on your hip. And same thing, you're gonna move. So think long spine. Just make sure you're bending straight. You don't wanna tweak your knee at all. See if you're using all 4 corners of your foot. Two more times. It's not bending as far as you can. It's just noticing. Bring your hands to the blocks. Now you're going to bring your foot out. So your heel and your knee are about in the same plane. You're 90 degrees. And I always have to walk my foot out a little bit further. And then the same thing. So keep a curve in your low back. And then just bend. Just keep thinking constant motion. Just kind of loosens up everything. If it's better for you to stretch your toes long in on the back foot, you can. Just notice it feels different in this position. One more time. And touch down. Come on in with that hip and step your left foot forward. Just make sure your knee and your hip and your heel and your hip are in the same alignment. Bring the hands to the front thigh and just lift and bend. Again, just go at your own pace, just whatever feels good. If you can feel really grounded, like you're lifting your arches through that foot, noticing stability, hopefully. One knee will feel different than the other. It does for me. Good. Touch the blocks. Bring the left block to the inside. Walk the foot out to 45 degrees. Just take your time. Hand to the thigh, right hand to the hip. And just start the movement. If you're hugging heel to knee to heel, you'll feel a little more stable. I always have to kind of think, especially with this foot, press the big toe mound down, press the inside of heel down. I don't know, everybody's body is different. So whatever helps you to feel more stable. One more time. Touch the blocks. You might have to move them back. Come to that 90 degrees. I have to walk my foot out sometimes. And then start moving. Tracking the knees straight. If your leg doesn't go to 90 degrees, no worries. Just do it where it feels like a comfortable and stable position. Two more times. I'm not really counting, I'm just moving. Good. And then touch down, come back to all fours. And I'm going to have you do something kind of weird. So keep your knees on the mat, stretch your right foot long, and then just swivel your left foot so your ankle hooks on top of the right. And then just kind of sway your hip back to the left. Hopefully that feels okay on your knee. If it doesn't, don't do it. You can go as deep as you want. Really getting into the hips. Good. Pause. Straighten out the left foot. Toes straight back. Swivel the right. Ankle on top. And then hip sway to the right. Again, just think long spine as you do this. It feels better to me, like the stretch is just in the hip. Good. And then come on up. Move the blocks to the side. Come forward with your hands. Come to that plank pose. Bend the elbows, lower to cobra. Push all the way back to child's pose, extended arms. And then make your way on up to downward facing dog, just pedaling your knees. You can move your little knee thing out of the way. And then just take very small steps so you keep moving and come forward till you're in a forward fold. You might have to bend your knees, make sure your feet are hip distance apart. And then once you get there, just sway side to side a little bit, kind of shifting the weight from one foot to the other, just noticing If you have weight in all parts of your feet, you can use blocks here if your hamstrings are tight, and then switch to swaying forward and back. Don't lift anything, just kind of feel that. See if you're really engaging all parts of your legs. And those of you with knee issues are not going to want to do this next one. So you're just going to widen your feet a bit, turn your toes out, come down to a deep squat. So Helen, whatever works for you. And your forearms or your elbows are against your knees. Make sure kneecaps and toes are facing the same direction. If your heels came up when you did this, put a blanket underneath the heels so you feel stable. Yeah. So you can feel down, like you're down. Good. And then just kind of press one side and press the opposite away. So it's like you're twisting and then switch. I know this is deep. That's why you might want that blanket. You don't have to use your hands. You can just use your forearm. Think long spine here too. One more time each side. And then bring your hands down. Come on up to a forward fold again. Straighten your feet out so that, yeah, good. Bend your knees a little bit, Lydia, so you don't round your low back. There you go. Bend them straight though. There you go. Good. And then bring your hands on your knees and come all the way up to standing. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, lower your right arm, and then just start bending and straightening to the side. And again, you can go as fast or as slow as you want. Stay grounded through your feet. Pause, bring the right arm up, left arm down, and go the opposite way. Keep weight in your right foot. It's easy to shift weight. I want you to keep the weight in both feet. Good. Bring both arms up and fold forward again. Bend your knees and grab your blocks and bring them to the outside of your feet. You can move anything else away. And please step your right foot back to a deep lunge and just lift and lower the heel a little bit. Not a lot, just stretching out the toes. Feel big toe mound, little toe mound, trying to ground. Good, and then lower your back knee. If you need that knee, I should have said leave it, but and then hug up and then bend a little deeper. So think nice and tall 2 more times and then bend a little deeper. It's very subtle movement. And touch down, hands to the blocks, lift the back knee, step back, down dog on the block. Pedal your knees. Don't stop. Good. And then extend your right leg and then step it up and through, deep lunge. Lift and lower the heel. Little subtle movements. Don't go as deep as you can. Just really focus on just staying moving and getting any stiffness out. Good. Lower the back knee. Hug to the midline. Stretch up and maybe bend a little bit. The hip creases and the hips stay square to the front. One more time. And please touch the blocks, lift the back knee, step forward. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. And inhale, sweep all the way up. Hands to heart center. And we'll keep going like that. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Lengthen out, pranam. And fold. Step the left foot back first. Deep lunge. Lift, lift. Just subtle movements. Lower the back knee. Stretch up Anjane, lengthening and maybe bending a little deeper. Touch down, lift the back knee. This time ground the back foot down. And I'm going to have you bring your right elbow to your knee, left hand to your hip. And just start moving a little bit. You don't, just tracking the knee straight. Maybe eventually bringing the arm up and over. Parsvakonasana. Just feel really fluid but stable through your feet. Nice long spine. Good. Touch down, turn the back heel up, step back, down dog, and just start pedaling. Thank God, right? Good. Extend the left leg and step it through, deep lunge. Lift and lower just a little bit. You doing okay, Helen? Okay. Lower the back knee. Stretch up. And just subtle movements. Just think, how long and strong can I be? Touch down, lift the back knee, swivel that foot down. Right hand to the hip, left hand to the knee. And just start moving. However it seems, like lengthening your spine still. If you want to add the arm, you can. Don't let your left side body get too scrunched up. Think nice and long. That's it. Beautiful, you guys. They're looking good in here. Good. Touch down. Turn the back foot up. Step forward, please. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Keep going. We're going to keep moving. Exhale, fold. Pranam. And fold. Right foot back first. Deep lunge. This time, keep the knee bent unless you don't feel stable. You're welcome to lower the back knee and come up to crescent warrior. And then just think, lengthen, bend a little bit, keeping the hips square, keeping everything engaged. One more time. Touch down. Step back, down dog. Pedal your knees. Extend the left leg, step it. Oops, wrong one. Extend the right leg, step it through. First mistake I've made all year. Stretch up crescent. Make sure you're stable first. Foot and hip in a line, the same line, both sides. Touch down, step forward. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Pranam. And fold. Step the left foot back first. Same thing, crescent warrior. Take your time. Feel stability, back foot really grounded. That's going to help you. And then this is a weird transition. Ground the back foot down, warrior two position. Just keep moving a little bit. Every inhale, I like to think tall. Every exhale, maybe extend. Windmill down. Turn the back heel up, step back, down dog. And just for fun, move the blocks to the side so your hands are grounded. And you can come forward to plank. You can do that modified cobra if you want, or lower down through chaturanga to the floor. Inhale, stretch your feet long, lift your head and chest. Exhale down. One more time, cobra. Nice long spine. And lower. Downward facing dog, kind of bending one knee and the other. Grab the blocks under your hands. We have one more side. Extend the left leg, step it all the way up. Take your time coming up to crescent warrior. Feel really connected. You can use your hands on your thigh to start. And then just subtle movements. Good. Making that transition, you ground your back foot down, extend your arms, and just think really tall. Good. Windmill down, touch the floor, turn the back heel up, step forward. Pranam. And sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Good. Now, turn this way on your mat and bring your blocks with you if you have tight hamstrings and take a wide stance. Okay, and wide, I mean, so your wrists are above your ankles. Okay, now swivel your heels in a little bit and bend your knees and bring your hands on your knees. So you're kind of holding yourself. Can we talk? Okay, I'm gonna go this way because people at home can't see me. So now you can see me. Now we're gonna do what we did before. So you're gonna twist towards your right knee, straighten your left arm and maybe dip a little bit. Come up, twist to your left, fold a little bit, and just keep moving like that. Straightening the opposite arm of the way you're twisting. Good. Make sure your knee's in the line that you want it. You'll feel this in your hips still. One more time each side. And you're going, yes, it's time, Lisa. Good. Straighten out your feet so they're pointing straight forward. And fold forward. If you need to use the blocks, you can, because I want you to feel your heels grounded just as much as the balls of your feet. And then just kind of sway forward and back so you're still moving. And then walk your hands out so they're more like down dog hands, but just not so far that you don't feel grounded through all parts of your feet. You might have to bend your knees a little bit if your hamstrings want that. Good. And then it's going to be really subtle. You're going to just reach your right hand to your left shin and then undo. Reach left hand to right shin and undo. Yeah. So just keep going like that. Stay really strong through all parts of your feet. when you move non-stop, you sweat a little too. I don't know if you guys are, but I am. One more time each side. Good. Walk your hands back a little bit. So maybe you're like in a pranam, and then let yourself come into the full pose. Wherever it works for you, don't round your low back. Try and keep long spine. Yeah, nice. Perfect, you guys. And then come up on your fingertips and press all the way up to standing. Okay, stretch your arms up. Right arm down. And just a few arcs to the left. Or to your right. Sorry, my left, your right. Second mistake today. Oh my gosh. Good. One more time. Bring both arms up and switch back to the other side. Good. One more time. Both arms up. And then bring your arms down. And then this is your movement. Heels swivel in, then toes. Then heels, and then toes. And then heels. Yay! Come back to the front of your mat. And come down to your knees and have your blocks. You might want to put the knee cushion underneath too. Since this is where your blocks are. Now you're going to stretch your feet long, bring the block between your heels. Now you might need two blocks. I don't know, because I want you to be comfortable. And then just sit back on the block. So you can, yeah. And then you decide maybe you need to go higher, Helen, or you can be up on your knees, yes. Which is just as good. I'm going to turn this way so you can see me. So we're going to work our shoulders a little bit now and arms. And we're going to keep moving. So bring your arms up to cactus. Think long side body. Head of the arm bones moves back. Lift your heart. Lean back a little bit like a cow. And then round, bring the forearms together. Tuck the chin. And you're just going to keep moving like that. So it's a little bit like cat-cow, but one more time. And then come upright. So you're in a neutral position. Bring your right elbow on your left. So stack it. And then either the backs of your hands together, or if you can kind of hook or palms together. And then we're going to do the same thing. So it's going to feel like cat-cow again. So you're going to think long side body, lengthen, lift the elbows a little bit, and then from down. Feel a stretch right between your shoulder blades. And do that a few times. Try and think of the cat-cow just being in the upper back, not in the low back. One more time. And tuck. Good. And then unwind. Now stay where you are. We're gonna do one more arm trick, and I'm gonna turn with my back to you so you can I won't confuse you. So watch me first. So you're gonna bring one arm forward, palm forward, one arm back, palm back, and then you'll bend the elbows and see if you can touch, or it might look more like this, and then stretch up and switch. And try it. Okay, so right arm up, left arm back, bend the elbows, touch, switch, One side might feel way looser than the other. As you can tell with me, I can't touch as well on when I'm doing it that way. Try not to feel too much like a robot. I always do when I'm doing this because it's kind of jerky movement. So try and make it more flowy. One more time each side. Good, and come on down to all fours. Just for fun, just a few cat cows here. Loosen up anything. Hands forward, come to down dog. Again, pedaling the knees. Let's keep moving. And then very casually, think of moving feet towards hands, forward fold. Come down to a deep squat again, and then hands behind you and sit and come all the way to your back. So this is the movement. You're going to bring your feet right under your knees. And then you're going to press your hands down, lift your hips. And then as you do that, lift your arms overhead. And then lower back down. So your shoulders and your head stay down. So keep going like that. Lift hips, lift arms overhead. If that doesn't feel comfortable, feel free to leave your arms down. It's only if you like it. Turn the lights down a little bit. Feels kind of good to keep moving, doesn't it? One more time. And then pause, bring your arms to cactus position. So like a goal post, yeah. Bring your feet wide on the sticky mat. So right at the edge of the sticky mat, and then just move in windshield wipers. So both knees to the right, and then both knees to the left. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. Whatever feels good today. Keeping the movement going. One more time to the right, and one more time to the left. And then pause, bring the soles of your feet together, knees open wide. And just bring your hands on your belly, and then just little subtle movements side to side with your knees. And then bring the knees up, hands by your hips, extend the legs, and then flex your right foot, point your left, and then switch. You can keep a little baby bend in your knees if that's better for your hamstrings. And stretch out everything again. You can admire your feet and ankles. Good. And then pause, bring your knees wider towards your armpits. Reach your elbows in between your knees And either grab your ankles, or if you can reach in front of your shins and grab the little toe side, that's happy baby. Yeah, that's it. Yep. And then just very gently roll to one side and the other. If you want to, you can let your knee touch down. That can be your stop. Feet are as wide as the knees. Think of trying to lengthen your spine a little bit here, but mostly just focus on the movement. Excuse me. Now, if you do have really open hamstrings and you want to, you can straighten your legs so they're wide to the side. And then as you roll side to side, maybe your toes touch down. That's a big yes. It feels okay for me, but you decide. Good. And then pause. Hug both of your knees in and just give them a hug with your arms. And even let your low back touch down. So your knees are fairly close to your chest, and just roll side to side. Massage something in your low back. And then bring your hands on your knees and just 1 inch at a time. As you sway, slowly let the knees come away from your chest so that you're massaging different parts of the low back and maybe your buttocks, your glutes. And then eventually your arms will be full length and your feet just dangle there as you sway back and forth. A little pressure down through the knee into the hip socket feels really nice. Good, and then release your knees to the floor. Stretch your legs out long. Stretch your arms out long, kind of palm facing up, if you will. I want you to be comfortable. And stop moving. And just notice that there's still many subtle movements in your body, even when your muscles aren't moving. Actually, when you breathe, there are some muscles moving. So just notice the movement of your breath in and out. There's lots of movement of fluids through the cell membranes, lots of movement still. Bless you. But again, just feel the difference when you've been moving for a whole hour, what it feels like to just lay still. And as you notice your breath, just again, notice where you feel the breath the most. Is it where it enters your nostrils, maybe your upper lip, maybe the back of your throat, maybe into the lung and heart area where it moves, or the movement of your belly. Just notice and focus on that spot for a few moments. Your breath is constantly moving, whether you notice it or not. And then utilize your breath as a tool to help you relax a little deeper. So soften the muscles in your face. And every exhale, just feel them loosen up a little bit and let go. Soften the muscles in your jaw and your tongue. Your neck and shoulders. Your arms and hands. Every exhale gives you a new opportunity to just release that tension, muscle energy. Relax your belly, your low back. Your pelvis, your legs, your feet. Feel everything just grounded on the floor. The floor supports you completely, so you can just let go completely. A few more thoughts from Sherry Carter Scott. As you travel through your lifetime, you may encounter challenging lessons that others don't have to face, while others spend years struggling with challenges that you don't have to deal with. You may never know why you are blessed with a wonderful marriage while your friends suffer through bitter arguments and painful divorces. Just as you cannot be sure why you struggle financially while your peers enjoy abundance. The only thing you can count on for certain is that you will be presented with all the lessons that you specifically need to learn. Whether you choose to learn them or not is entirely up to you. The challenge of Rule 2, therefore, is to align yourself with your own unique path by learning your individual lessons. This is one of the most difficult challenges you will be faced with in your lifetime, as sometimes your path will lead you into a life that is radically different from others. Don't compare your path to those of other people around you, and focus on the disparity between their lessons and yours. You need to remember that you will only be faced with lessons that you are capable of learning and are specific to your own growth. If you are able to rise to the challenge, you can unravel the mystery of your purpose and actually live it. You cease being a victim of fate or circumstances and become empowered. Life no longer just happens to you. When you are working toward fulfilling your true purpose, you discover astounding gifts within yourself that you may have never known you have. This process may not be easy, but the rewards are well worth the struggle. Beginning to notice the movement of your breath again. Any movement within your body, don't move externally. Maybe you can feel the heart beating, moving. Maybe the food and fluid moving through your abdomen. And then begin to notice your extremities, and you can start to wiggle and stretch fingers and toes a little bit. And when you feel ready to move more, draw your knees in to the right side. And take your time pushing on up to seated. And find your nice seat, comfortable seat again. And just sit for a few more moments. Hopefully enjoying the stillness within and without, outside. Please bring hands to heart center. I just want to say I always learn so much more from you students than you probably learn from me. You're part of my growing process. So I bow to the beauty and the grace within each of you. Namaste. Have a fabulous day, weekend. Oh, it's Friday. Yeah. And you guys at home as well. Thank you. Hope you have a great weekend. Oh, I forgot to say before you sign off, this is the last week of this session. And so I'm going to be sending out new links for next week. And I'm going to do it a little differently. And if you want to, you can send me payment for the whole session, but I'm thinking I'll just do it 1 week at a time because I don't want to feel bad if I decide to cancel class and you already paid me for it. So if you could just pay for 1 week at a time, that'd be great. Or you can pay me and then keep track yourself how many classes you've been to if you want to give me, So look for that link coming out this weekend sometime. Okay.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye now.
Bye.